Hello everyone, this is Seewing Yee from the Evolution Network, and thank you for attending this webinar presentation. So today's topic is multi-units in Central Florida. Newer units, high cap rates, and good locations. Wow, this is a trifecta. Okay, before I'll go over several listings, I'd like to once again reintroduce you our network realtor, Miss Jean Gillum from Florida. She's been with our network for almost 10 years now, and over the years, she has sold quite a few homes to our investors, members, and obviously, the reason why she's continued to be with us is a testament of her tremendous uh, resources that she able to come up with. So she's been in the Florida real estate for many years, and she's extremely busy selling all kind of great homes to our investors. All right, so here she is, Jean Gillum. All right, so just to match the face with you guys, with her, and many of you already get to know her very well because she has facilitated and helped many of our members, like I said, to successfully achieve their purchases in Orlando and Tampa and pretty much Central Florida area. So she's my go-to advisor. All right, very important person. She has made a lot of our investors a lot of money over the years, and she will continue to do so for the foreseeable future. Okay, with that in mind, let's get back to our agenda. And of course, we're very exciting to bring this month and this week's batch of multi-unit portfolio from Central Florida. And this is a block of 23 multi-units, and they are, as you can see, five of them, 5, 10, 15, 20, 23. So suffice to say that these type of units are very desirable. They investors from all over the U.S. and Canada and pretty much all over the world, for that matter, has been purchasing these great properties, multi-unit properties. The properties in this portfolio, by the way, of course, most of these 23 properties, they may be gone within a week to 3 weeks. That's how soon they are purchased. So serious investors, they don't play around. They pull the trigger after doing some little bit of due diligence. But in fact, Jim Gillum has done most of the research and due diligence on our behalf. And furthermore, she have property manager located in every one of these areas that the properties that we're promoting. Now, bear in mind, all these properties are in the multiple listing service. What does that mean? That means you have to bid for these properties. Before you even do that, uh, the protocol for this particular market in Central Florida is such that we ask for our investors to get loan pre-approval for of course, we have our resources. We have the network loan agents. Richard Advani is one of them. He's our main guy for to do loans. But in this portfolio, there are some units of 5 units or above, and that requires a commercial loan to do. So, nevertheless, we have all the network resources available for you guys. You don't have to go out of our network to search for any resources. We have everything in house. We are the one-stop shop, turnkey, ready to go properties. Now, again, this is multi-listing. It's an in MLS, so therefore, not only you make an offer either above or below the list price, but Jim Gillum will help you do all that. And oftentimes, the potential for repairs, the repairs could be very minimal. A couple of thousand or $5,000, or in case of new builds that I'm going to highlight some new builds for you. They require no rehab, additional pocket from you. All right, just bear that in mind. So now again, if you're really motivated, you're really serious, of course, you have to get loan pre-approved before we talk to you and go through several steps, because Jim Gillum is is a very busy person, and if she were to work with somebody, we have to determine that our investor members are extremely motivated, and that for them to work with Jim Gillum and at the last minute change their mind. That's not the kind of things we want. We want the investors to be very definitive and pull the trigger once they work with Jim Gillum, because we certainly don't want to waste her time. Her time is extremely valuable, as well as you guys, right? Everybody have limited amount of time, so she want to make her time beneficial and profitable, working with only serious and motivated investors. Okay, so I thought I have to leave it out there. So the out of these 23 batch of properties, I'm only going to highlight 5 of them. I don't want to spend too much time on this presentation, and the rest you can look at the links yourself on your own special time. But the lowest price duplex we have in Central Florida on this portfolio at this particular time is $149,000 duplexes, and the highest multi-unit that on this portfolio, as you can see on this link, is up to 6.4 million, 56 units. Okay, so this portfolio cover a wide range of prices and financial resources requirement uh, uh, to for some of you to take action. Okay, so without further ado, I'm gonna go over 5 properties, and I'm only gonna spend like a mere 2 minutes on each property. Okay, because otherwise I'll be talking to you all day long, and I don't want to do that. Okay, so besides the attention span of most people are pretty limited. I know I am. Okay, it's hard to concentrate and focus on a presentation longer than 15-20 minutes. So I could okay, let's not waste time. All right, so the first property I'm going to show is this $154,900 new. I like brand new because they're brand new. The expectation moving forward is that the maintenance costs and the upkeep will be very minimal because it's simply brand new. So I like that. I like this value add. So these duplex located in Point Siena, which is around 30 miles, maybe less, below Orlando, is a nice, fast-growing suburbs. Look, everything we present to you has been researched, and Jean Gillum specifically picked these 23 units that she feels will make a good investment, and the rest of the properties that she on a weekly basis that come into her pocket, she like I said, she does a lot of due diligence, and she reject most of the properties that comes under that comes to her every week. So she only picked the right one. So suffice to say, all 23 of these properties are potentially are very good properties to buy, and so you guys need to trust her uh, integrity and track record that she's been doing for so long in the Central Florida market. So this duplex is really looks real nice. Built recently, and combined footage on this both sides of this unit is 1375. I think 3 bedroom, 2 bath on each unit. I'm not sure whether 1375 square foot is one side or both sides. I suspect it's one side. I'm not sure, but nevertheless, 154,000, and the rental range is very interesting. As you can see below here, the gross projected rent is 2,500. So clearly, it tells you that the numbers really make sense. I told you guys most important numerical benchmark is the 1% rule. 1% multiplied by the purchase price equal the monthly gross rent, and that will give you a high cash flow. So in this case, the 1% rental value ratio is $2,500 monthly, 25 to 2,600. So it's higher than 1% rental value ratio. So it's maybe like 1.3, 1.4. So cash flow is very high. So very desirable. So I don't know too much details other than I'm just looking at the big picture, just like you guys are both. So this is a very nice unit, very high cash flow, probably at least 11% cap rate. All right. So hopefully this is still available, but who knows until you guys talk to myself or Jim Gillum. All right, the property number 1 out of the way. So let's go over property number 2. I personally picked the next one is $265,000, which is right here. The reason why I want to highlight this property once again, this property is maybe still under construction because it's right here. It says 2018. Again, personally, I like new builds. In this case, in Kissimmee, Florida, which is right below Poinciana, like maybe 30 miles below Orlando. Duplex, of course, one side to one side, 3 bedroom and 2 bath on each side. Total square footage is 2,600. That means each side of the duplex is 1,300, which is pretty nice standard. All right, and let me see what else. Again, under construction, probably still is, and just simply a very good area. I mean, this Kissimmee is clearly a very good area. So the numbers really looks good too. The projected monthly rent is 2271 to 2371, so just slightly below the 1% rent to value ratio. Sometimes, although a high cap rate is good, but you can offset that by good quality construction, new builds, and decent locations. You can have the nice tenants. So this kind of locations all have very good rental market and fast growth. And Central Florida is one of the fastest growing areas in the entire nation for the last few years. It will continue to grow very, very fast because there's a lot of jobs, a lot of good economy, a lot of good industries, right? So therefore, if you put 25% down payment on this loan, you'll have a net cash flow of anywhere from $800 to $900 net monthly cash flow minus all the deductions, as you can see right here. All right, so very decent numbers and very good value. All right, so with that in mind, let's go over property number 3 that I highlighted for you guys. So which is right here, 319,000 duplex. It's located in Bradenton, Florida, which is in the suburbs of Tampa, and Tampa is growing tremendously by leaps and bounds. So again, I like the newer built in 2004, 2 units, total 2254 square foot, 3 bedroom, 2 bath each side, each unit, and each unit is around 1100 square foot, which is nice and decent. Okay, so you can look at the description yourself. You just a lot of things are happening in Tampa suburbs. So the monthly gross rent is around 25 to 2600. A little bit below the 1% rent to value ratio, which is fine because this is a fairly new property. You can look at the interior, exterior, looks very, very nice. It's a very good location in Bradenton, okay, which is in Clearwater, St. Petersburg, suburbs of Tampa. Like I said, it's growing very fast. So the cap rate is probably around 8%, which is pretty decent. Okay, all right. So this let's move on to property number 4, which is 375,000. So let's take a look right here. Now this is good value. Built 1979, so it's not that old. It's located in Mulberry, Florida. Mulberry, Florida is located 45 minutes from Tampa in Orlando, and this city is growing very, very fast. And it's an 8-unit. Look at this. Look at the value. 8-unit property, multi-unit apartment, only listed at 375,000. Okay, now, so there are 12 bedrooms and 8 baths. So therefore, half of the units are 1 bedroom, 1 bath, and half of the 12 units are probably 1.5, maybe 2 bedroom, 1 bath. Total square footage 5,000. So I didn't calculate. So it'll be less than 1,000 square foot per unit. So and a very good value, very good price. Where else can you buy multi-units in the country? 8 units, so only 375K. And the good part about this is, look at the projected rent. All right, and before we go there, there's a new roof was put in place just recently, and they did all the rewiring. Each unit have new floors, new all rehab, right? And it doesn't have a tenant yet because they just finished with the rehab, but the projection is very, very nice. So very undervalued relative to the purchase price versus the rent. The projected rent is $5,400 to $5,500. So clearly, it's way above the 1% rule, right? So the rent to value ratio is very, very attractive, and the cap rate is a double-digit cap rate, which is really amazing. But if you get almost $3,000 of net cash flow at 25% down payment, so you can have an annual net cash flow after all the expenses of like 35,000 approximately. If we put 25% down payment from 375K, we're talking maybe $75,000 total out of pocket. And at the end of the first year, based on this projection, you're almost getting, right? If you do the math, you're almost getting like $35,000. You're only spending like 75,000. So you divide 75,000 of down payment by the net annual cash flow of 35K from 75,000 down payment. So your cash on cash return is probably at least 30%, right? That's pretty attractive. So your cap rate in this case is probably 12 to 13%. I'm just estimating, okay? Don't quote me precisely because I've not done the numbers, but I'm share with you the high level of some of these awesome high cash flow, good properties in growing area, good rental market. Okay. Of course, just so you know, I mean, over time, we can expect vacancies and potential maintenance. If we keep the vacancy to a low of 5 to 10% or lower on an annual basis, and the vacancies and the maintenance and upkeep a mere 5% or less, if that's possible, then this cap rate and this rent net cash flow should not have a tremendous drastic deviation from the projection. You know what I mean? So yeah, there's always risk with investment, just like any other investment, but the value and the benefit to me way exceed any risk associated with this type of purchases, especially here in Central Florida. All right. Okay, let's move on. And the what's next? The fifth and final property I'm going to highlight on this presentation is the sixplex, which is 875K, which is right here. Okay, this is the final highlight. Now, this is unique. It's built 1990, so it's relatively new, located in Palm Harbor, Florida. So Palm Harbor, again, is a little bit lower, close to Tampa. I don't know exactly what the location, but it's close to the water. So it's a six unit for 825,000. And it says right here, this six unit condo package is fully leased or rented. But you can buy the entire 6 unit package, or you can buy in smaller blocks of units. So you can buy 2 units out of this package or 3 units. So if you divide 879K by 6 units, so per unit is only about 145,000. Okay. And since the projected rent for this 8 unit is around 8 to 9,000, the simple math tells you that there's a 1% rent to value ratio. So if you buy 1 unit equals 145,000, so your monthly rent potentially is around $1,400 monthly rent per unit. So cap rate in this particular case, I has to estimate to be like 8 to 9% cap rate. So very, very good purchase. You look at the pictures and I mean, you can tell he's in a good location. You have a lake there, you have surrounding houses. Clearly, I would say it's a B neighborhood, B minus, maybe even B plus neighborhood in some of these properties. So that's pretty much it. I certainly don't want to. I can spend all day long talk about these great opportunities, but I can only highlight 5 of them. I don't want to again spend too much time. At the end of the day, if you are relatively savvy as an investor, and you've done all the pre due diligence, you're ready to go, loan pre approval and all that, you can talk to myself and Jean Gillum, and she can work hard for you. But she want to make sure that you guys are serious. Otherwise, she does not want to waste her time because her time is so precious. She work with so many investors on a daily or weekly basis, not only from with my investors, but she has several investment group that she consistently work with in California and few other places. So her time is very limited, but when she do all the work for you, right? She'll make the offer for you, and then if your offer get accepted, you do the inspection, then you'll get the loan, do the escrow, 45-day close, and at the end of the day, you're gonna own a nice portfolio of a multi-unit property that will give you high returns, very low risk, because Central Florida is growing by leaps and bounds, and she have excellent property management. Everything is turnkey, one-stop shop that we provide here at the Yee Real Estate Network. So once again, the bottom line is we have done so much work and effort on behalf of our investors. You guys, whether you work full time or have no time and have families to take care of, you can still do this from out of state, wherever you are. Okay, so thank you so much. If you're interested and take the next step, you can contact myself and or Jim Gillum, and we will work together to help you grow your real estate portfolio so you could make more money and so you can achieve financial freedom and do the things you love doing, whatever they may be. Okay, thank you so much for your time and looking forward to talking to you. Have a nice day. This is Seewing Yee from the Yee Real Estate Network. Goodbye.